I was reading Pace magazine, and they had those samplers that came in, you know, like they'd give you like 20 songs or whatever. There was a video sampler, and I think I actually found out about the Avett Brothers on that sampler too. That was like before they were huge. But that particular sampler had Deerhoof, I forget the exact name of the song, but something about a time capsule. But I remember being like, this band is really weird. I bought Friend Opportunity when it came out like a year later, and then I was like really into them. The songs are catchy and fun and totally bizarre. You know, the lyrics don't make any sense, and you know, but they have like these great little hooks, like, you know, like there's one song on that record I always used to say, like, choo 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 beep beep, and that was like the hook. And the guitar tones were great, and the drum sounds were just so unbelievably good. Like the way his drum kit sounds and the way he plays is amazing. Once I saw them live, I bought all their records. I bought everything, and they were immediately like my favorite band ever. I was in Albany, and I drove out from Syracuse with my girlfriend at the time, and we went to this little place. It was in like a firehouse. We showed up, and we kind of asked people like, where should we go to eat? And somebody at the venue was like, go to this place down here, it's really good. It was like a Korean joint or something like that. Well, they must have told the band the same thing, because we walked in and I was like, yo, there's the fucking band. Like, we ended up sitting right next to them. We were kind of like, I kind of got a little starstruck. And then we went to the show, and it was like, you know, this new guitar player's like, it was like one of his first shows. Like, he made all these mistakes, and they were pretty sloppy, but it was like super fun. We were so into it and had such a good time. I stayed and waited to talk to Greg, the drummer, and he was like the most friendly, awesome dude. He talked to me for seriously like 45 minutes after the show. And it was just such a fun experience. And then he recognized me the next time I saw them in Northampton, which was like, I thought was so bizarre. And then the next time I saw him, which was a couple years later, he's like, you look really familiar. But seeing him live is such a different experience, and I've gotten friends into the band before and then brought them to a live show, and it's always either one or the other. They're always like, well, it's not really like the record, which it never is. But then usually people are just into it because it's so different. I mean, the way they play together is really what makes that band so special, because they don't sound or play like any other band I've ever seen in my entire life. They're playing with each other, like these crazy things, like these just crazy, almost like avant-garde, like jazz type of rhythms. Not really jazz, but like just like freak out, like fucking punk music, like weirdness. I mean, Greg, the drummer, he's got to be one of the greatest drummers ever. Like, ever. He plays so hard when he's playing hard and so quiet when he's not. He plays so hard that the first time I saw him, he had two huge ride cymbals with no bell in the middle as his hi-hat. And I asked him why. I was like, dude, where's the bell? He's like, it's just too loud. I just play too hard. I mean, and he plays this thing like 8 people playing at once. I mean, he's like a psychopath. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see. He just like freaks out. The whole band freaks out. And it's great. Come See the Duck, which I played for you. If I see him play it, it almost makes me cry, because it's like one of those things where, like, you know, it just punches you in the face. You know, I remember having a conversation with a really good friend of mine at one point, and he had seen them open up for the Roots or something somewhere, and he kind of like ignored them. You know, he's like, what the fuck is this, or whatever, because a lot of people think that about Deerhoof. They're like, what is this? This is nonsense. There's this one song that I played for him, and I was telling him, I was like, dude, that's my favorite band. Like, he was like, no, they're not your favorite band. Like, I was like, no, they are. You just don't know. And there's this one song called Spiral Golden Town. It almost sounds like a sports anthem, the way you get into it, but it's just got a really infectious groove and melody. This record is the one that changed my life. This is one of my all-time whatever, top 5, whatever the fuck you want to call. This is like top 3. This record, you know, has a special place in my heart. I think that's just because of what it meant to me at the time, but I blasted this nonstop for like a complete summer, and I don't know, just the whole makeup of the record and all the sounds that they used, and like I said, the tones of the drum kits and the guitar, and like all like the kind of, I don't know, just to me it was like, I remember feeling like this band is like no other band I've ever heard before, and it's so different and so good. I don't know, occasionally there's like a kind of like a sentimental song, or like something really quiet that kind of does grab you. Like there's one of those songs on this record. I think Greg the drummer actually sings. I can't really remember how it goes right now, but it's a really beautiful song. You know what I mean? It seems like they try to do a little bit something different every time. You know, the one that came out after Friend Opportunity, Offend Maggie, that is just like a ripping like rock record. When I listen to Deerhoof, but in particular that record, Offend Maggie, I get so amped up, I just have to move around. Like it moves me like that. Last time I saw them in Rochester a couple months ago, and they opened up with the opening song to that record, and it was just like, I don't know, immediately I just felt better about everything. It was like, you know, it was like, again, it was like being punched in the face. You know, you let go of all control, like this band just like, you know, like they just hit you like bam, you know what I mean? That's the way I felt. And then the whole show, you know, I was just in that zone. I watch them and I just laugh because it makes me so happy. You know, they're the only band I think that like legitimately can make me cry from laughing so hard because they're so fun.